This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
Welcome to Talk Business and Politics. I'm Roby Brock, joined by Katherine Vasilos and Chris Ho. They're with CJRW, one of the biggest ad agencies, marketing agencies, digital agencies, PR firms.
We do it all.
The state and the region in the southeast, or southwest, as a matter of fact. Good to have y'all with us. We're here to talk about South by Southwest, as everybody affectionately refers to it as South by.
That's right.
You guys were down there for the whole week. Tell me how crazy Austin, Texas is during the week of South by Southwest.
It was an interesting experience. There are thousands of people everywhere, tons of scooters. Can't hardly walk anywhere. You got to get on a scooter to maneuver around. But we got to hear from the best in the business, leaders in tech, interactive, creative marketing. It was fun, and we ate a lot of tacos.
Yeah,
we did.
And did you get to see any music when you were down there? Or did
we got to see it. Yeah, we got to see some music. Yeah,
that's one of the benefits of going down there.
It is. A
bunch of big names and up and coming folks there. Let's talk about some of the sessions that you guys attended. I want to start with this trend that we're seeing in media right now, where there's just more emphasis on voice, vocal, sound, audio, kind of making a comeback in terms of podcasts, but you've also got the whole Alexa and those systems where people are talking to get their information now. What's the big takeaways there?
So there's a comeback with audio and sound. And so today what's interesting is that humans spend the same amount of time on video as they do on audio, which is incredible. And so there's kind of three different categories of that. You've got your voice-activated devices, like you mentioned, the Alexa, the Google Home. These are not slowing down. They're only growing, and they're growing rapidly. In fact, experts say by 2021, half of our interactions with machines will be using our voice.
Oh.
Yep.
All right. So,
so
my kids do this a lot more than I do it at this point in time. So I catch them all the time talking different things on their phones.
And, by the end of next year, we'll have 225 million devices, smart speaker devices. But speaking of voice activation, Chris went to a session regarding websites, and that's kind of an interesting point.
So what they were talking about with websites and where that's going to lead to is where you'll actually talk to the website. So possibly homepage layouts will change. You'll go into a website from your phone and you'll ask the website, here's what I'm looking for. The website's going to be smart enough to where it's going to take that voice activation and serve up categories, and you're going to get down to your products. You might start seeing this in like e-commerce type websites.
So like if you're shopping for something, I'm looking for coffee makers.
And you may not be stumbling through the navigation menu trying to find out what you're looking for. You may be just entering that whole entire experience with your voice.
Do you see that happening in more non-B2B websites, like news websites? Would that be
possibly? They were talking more about the start of this being in e-commerce websites, like looking for a product. Hey, I'm looking for a couch. What color couch are you looking for? How many people you want a seat? What's your price range? And then they would serve up products there, and you say, okay, I'll take that one.
All right, curious. All right, let's talk about social media influencers and the messaging that goes around that and how that is all changing. We've seen kind of some high-profile examples of this in a negative way when you look at, I can't think of the girl's name right now, but she basically was part of the college admissions scandal. It was the daughter of Lori Loughlin, and she has this big social media influencer account, and she's lost her contract, I think, with Wayfair or somebody like that.
Yes.
So tell me about social media influencers and how they're changing the whole conversation.
That's right. So social media influencers, everyone talked about it. Is it a fad? Well, it's not. Experts say they are here to stay. They're only going to grow. 92% of consumers will trust an influencer's recommendation over a brand's recommendation. So it's really important for brands and marketing to be looking at influencers for their marketing strategies, but also to be careful of who they choose. So who is that influencer? What is their background? Who are their followers? Follower count is not a sole metric for how you choose one. However, you need to look at who they are, what they represent, do your homework, make sure you're very careful. But because we have this Gen Z, millennial audience now that really values authenticity, they're looking towards influencers for recommendations, not just that corporate brand message. And so it's important.
So quality more than quantity could also obviously be something. Are we going to see more Kardashians? Is that the result of this, Chris?
Possibly you could, yes.
And kind of looking to the future of it, we've had a lot of influencers who are focused on like a broad lifestyle fitness, beauty, all of these things, we're going to see it trending more towards niche markets. So maybe it's just an influencer that just promotes sporting goods, but that's how kind of it's trending.
Maybe it's an influencer that influences business and politics. I mean, I'm just saying,
Could be.
I don't know.
It could be.
All right.
Could be.
Lastly, let's talk about brand activation. What is brand activation? What the heck does that even mean?
This is so important. I love a good brand activation. Actually, this week we had 2 brand activations for the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, which is one of our clients. This is so important. Basically, it's a event or an experience that a brand or company creates in order to foster an emotional connection with a product, with a brand. And so it's really just immersing a person into your brand. We talked about the Gen Z millennials, they value experiences over things. And so it's really important for companies and marketing experts to really add brand activations into their strategy. Chris went to a really cool one at South by.
I did. It was The Good Omen. It's going to be a show on Amazon Prime. So when we first got to South by Southwest, we noticed people walking around with signs that said the end is nigh. We're like, what's going on? And then later we're seeing nuns walking dogs. They were called the Hellhounds. And then later on we're seeing buses wrapped with the cover photo for the series. And then we started seeing angels walking around, black wings and white wings. So we're like, okay, there's good and evil. So in the middle of the city, they have like a 10-foot wall sectioned out, whole big section, and you actually enter in this activation. And it's really talks about the storyline. So you have the good and the bad, so you can pick your side. You go to the good side or the bad side, and they have all these little sets, these little micro sets set up that resemble scenes from the movie.
Which
and
side
so
did you go to,
Yeah.
good or bad?
I went to the good side first. The guy I was with wanted to go to the bad side, but they were like, come over here.
right.
And so, yeah.
That's right.
We went to the good side first.
So I guess give me, so using that as an example, what am I supposed to, as a consumer of that? I know I'm not Gen Z or millennial.
Right.
I think I'm on the cusp of baby boomer age, but what am I supposed to take away from that?
From The Good Omen, I had not heard of it. There's a book, about it as well. But when I came out of the activation, I was like, I have to see this now. So that it just gets you so immersed in what's
Yes.
going on. It kind of gives you little clues as to how the series is going to play out, and so it just gains your interest.
All right. What'd you do with the lottery in terms of brand activation?
So this week there was a $750 million Powerball jackpot. I'm sure everyone's heard about that. So what we did is we held 2 pop-up events, one in Fayetteville, one in Little Rock. We invited the public to come out and get free Powerball tickets. We gave away prizes. It's really just, it was also an opportunity for us to talk to people and ask them, what would you do if you won? Mm-hmm. And so for that moment in time, people came out, they got to dream about what they would do. We're really honoring our fans, we're honoring the people, lottery consumers, and so we wanted to do something special for them, to honor them, and to help build brand loyalty for the lottery and trust in the lottery. So it was really just bringing them in and getting them excited about this Powerball jackpot, and we created a lot of buzz and excitement, a lot of shareable content that went on social media, so that went and they shared it with their friends, so it was exciting.
All right. It's good stuff. All right. Catherine and Chris, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris and Catherine also blogged for us from South by Southwest. You can read all of their content at talkbusiness.net. Just look for CJRW in our search bar, or South by Southwest SXSW in our search bar, and you can find it that way too. Appreciate y'all very much.
Thanks.
That's all for today's Talk Business and Politics. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Roby Brock. We'll see you next time.
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas. Our 17 electric distribution cooperatives are working day and night to provide reliable, affordable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses, just like yours. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.
Each day, the promise of our nation begins again. Arkansas and America, moving forward. I help make that promise a reality. It's not for everyone, but people everywhere depend on us.
Oh, I love you too, sweetie.
Trucking delivers, or everything stops. And that's what drives me.